What's up, guys? It's James and Jono here from Smoking UK, where we review, communicate, and educate all things tobacco. This is his first time being on the channel.
Yeah.
We don't know what we're doing, but we're
See-
going to discuss his journey so far. So
See what happens.
we'll see what happens. Let's run the intro and let's jump into some random questions with Jono.
We interrupt this program to bring you an important announcement.
So first of all, welcome.
Yeah, it's good
It's
to be here.
really happening.
It's about time. What month are we on? What year are we on?
Yeah, but it's been
You're,
a year and 4 or 5 months.
you're
Shoving your face.
you're digging into the your second year. I mean, I've been here a long time.
So what is it exactly that you do? Obviously, I know what you do here, but what?
Well, I'm a product photographer. So anything that you see on the website that is cigars, pipes, tobaccos, anything like that, usually comes through my studio. When we get new products in, I'll shoot them, edit them, make sure there's no blemishes, make them look prettier than they probably are sometimes. Well, we all want to see the best, don't we? You want to see the best. So when it goes up there, it's all then put through the website. And but not only that, I do quite a lot of the internal printing, branding on the packaging that we send out with the Timeless Classics, as you all love, by the sounds of it. Quite a lot of the tobacco samples for pipes. We've got a whole load of branding coming your way this year as well. So yeah,
You're the man behind the incredible graphics on the Halloween sample packs. They look.
We did the well, that was it's a bit of a cheat, really, but it was by no means am I a graphic designer, but obviously we all know that AI is now in the picture, so it gives us a massive boost on doing our own stuff. So you're not having to go out and pay someone to come in with a new design. We can do it within the day. We can turn it around in the day and get our own packaging out there with a good effect. So yeah, it went pretty well with Halloween. At least some of the stuff we were doing looked great. I was really proud of it.
Those zombie fingers.
That were my favourite, actually. Yeah.
I remember you first sent them food to me, and I was like, "You ain't done that."
Literally.
And then you showed the breakdown. I was like, "Wow!"
When I looked at them, I thought, "That's really good." And I hadn't done anything. I pressed a button and wrote a bit of script into it saying "zombie fingers, green, blah blah blah," and yeah, it came out like that. So you can't really go wrong. It's one of those that I think I'm a bit of an old school boy in the fact that I prefer to do a lot of editing and stuff myself, but we can't deny that AI is coming into the picture.
Might as well utilize it.
If you can utilize it, yeah, get it utilized, because otherwise you're just going to be on back foot when everyone else is using it.
Exactly. Get ahead of the curve, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think we do it really well, like especially the graphics on the website as well.
Yeah, well, this is it.
We really optimize it.
I don't know if the guys know that the three main characters that come up were AI animal category animals that came up with with the ideas of putting. I don't know if Peter will like us for this, but making them look like they're smoking. So, but we are Smoke King and Lion King of the Jungle, etc., etc. But yeah, it gives us that opportunity to open up, to do theme sites, to do celebrations or something with characters involved. So it just gives us that step away from the websites. So when you look at a normal e-commerce website, I won't name names, but some of them are literally like, this is a product, this is what you buy, this is a list. And then you just end up with an absolute load of text to read.
I've always said they look almost like a tabloid.
And it's literally, you're reading a newspaper.
Yeah, but I don't think ours looks like a tobacconist at all.
Ours looks more like a designer's website.
Yeah.
Actually, if you go to some graphic designers out there, they don't have as much information sometimes as we do. They might have a real video that like cycles through images and videos and whatever they do as products, as their services, as it were.
Yeah.
But no, as an e-commerce site, ours has gone from pretty standard sort of this is what you get to, well, it's we can put any sort of design work on there that we want, really, you know.
Complete polar opposite to when I first joined. So we've done so much in such a short little time as well.
It's been full on. The 2024 was pretty much a non-stop year of any new products obviously came through. We shot them, got them ready, rolling onto the website, and then Claire, she's pretty much a visionary when it comes to, I want to do this for this sort of idea, and I want to do this for this sort of idea. So we'll all get our heads together, we'll get into the Adobe suite, and we'll just mess around and create stuff as much as we can. And then when something clicks, you go, shit, that's brilliant. Basically, it's one of those things that you just get on with it. And then all of a sudden at the end, you go, wow, we've got something here.
Yeah.
It's great.
It was definitely stressful at times. Like, you were really strong because we basically changed our entire photography, didn't we? We went from having like proper lifestyle shots to, right, Jono, we need no background, solid white.
Yeah, when the website was ready, well, pretty much we're not ready to roll, but we had a deadline of doing cutouts, cigar cutouts and pipe cutouts. So we borrowed a big old machine off of some of our IT and web developer guys that were very kindly sent up to us, and we had close to nearly 2,000 products to shoot.
Yeah.
In probably less than 6 months, probably 4 months.
Yeah, I'd been about that. There went sometimes weeks where I didn't even hear about you because you were just sat at that.
Yeah, literally shoved me at a little cubicle outside of my comfy studio, and I sat there day in, day out, and I'd run through as many as I could. And now, if you look at how the cards work with the knockout backgrounds and the single stick cigars, obviously we've taken a little bit of kind of inspiration from Cigar Aficionado and people like that. Who do the single sticks with a white background and the stuff underneath to give you that card feel.
Yeah.
It also gives people a chance to look at the cap of a cigar close up and the band of the cigar close up, because what we realised when I first started 3 years ago, I think it's 4 years in May when I started freelancing, we were shooting, and we were shooting lifestyle, and we did shoot for the pipes, we did shoot white background for a long time due to Google's priorities.
Yeah.
But we just shot, here's a cigar, here's a box. So people could see you can get it single, you can get it in a box.
Yeah.
So there were informative pictures. They weren't artsy-fartsy or all like that. But then we decided, right, hold on, we need to change this up because no one else is doing artistic photography with product shots, especially tobacco industry, because people are scared to touch anything that looks pretty, to make smoking look pretty.
Yeah.
No one wants to do that. Well, we all want to do that, but we don't know the government guidelines when it comes to
Grey area.
Yeah. Now, as far as I'm aware, within your website, it's an 18-only website, so you're allowed to show it, but not sell it, as it were.
Yeah.
You're allowed
can't
to show
incentivize,
it. Yeah, you can't incentivize, but you can show it in its glory, which with cigars and pipes, we decided, right, well, let's give it a bit more mood. As you can see behind me, we've got this is my product shot setup. So it's a bit dark, it's a bit moody, but then I'll go in and I'll give you some close-ups of these. For instance, on a pipe, you'll get like the grain and the texture and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Then same with cigars. You'll go and you'll have a good look at the foot, you'll look at the cap, you'll look at the detailing that someone has rolled into it. And we want to show that what you're getting is not just, like we joked earlier, a brown stick to put in your mouth. You're getting a really beautiful piece of workmanship that what they say, around 300 hands touch your cigar.
350,
yeah. And that's not to say that that's all you get, because the timing growing, the weather being right, everything it's a magical thing to come to you. So when a cigar is picked up, if you don't honour that and you just think, I'm just smoking a big cigarette, then you need to go somewhere else and buy a cigarette. Yeah. But if you actually understand what goes into cigars, that's what we try to purvey in our pictures, this is the artistry, this is how they look, this is how they feel.
Yeah.
Short of sitting there cutting it, lighting it up on every video, on every product, which don't ask for because it'll take years to do that. That's something that's what he's for. Basically, you're the one that shows a cigar in its glory of snip it, light it, smoke it, tell people about it.
Yeah.
I'm the one that gives you a nice stills picture of it that's like, this is what it looks like. And that's what's meant to get these guys to go, I want to see what that's like in my hand. I want to see what it smells like, what it feels like, and what it smells like. And that's why we're all here.
And I think what the another crucial thing about it is that you can't buy a cigar from us and say you weren't aware of everything about that stick. You know, some people don't like closed cap foots. Some people don't like box press.
Yeah.
But because we get the close up of the foots, the cap,
Well, this
you
is
can't say, oh, well, I wasn't aware this cigar was like that kind of thing.
no. Well,
You know
this
exactly
is
what you're buying.
everybody who picks up a cigar or orders a cigar from us. We want to make sure that they've got the information visually of what it looks like.
Yeah.
How dark the wrapper is. You know, like you say, if it's a closed foot, if it's a box press, if it's a torpedo or
Yeah.
round cap. It's one of those things that information is king, isn't it? Information is power. If you're wanting to smoke a cigar, you want to look at what is it? What does it look like? How does it cut? How thick is it? How long is it? Everything.
You can even see like how grainy and oily some of the wrappers
Yeah, well,
cigar, because I know some people look really dry cigars, some people only smoke really oily cigars. You capture that incredibly.
It's one of those sort of things that sometimes I'll actually look for the better cigar to shoot, because we all know that they are different. A box of 25 is 25 chances of a cigar being good or bad. And that's not to say it won't smoke brilliantly, but some people do look at a cigar and go, that don't look nice. But you light it up and you smoke it, you're like, well, that's tremendous. That's an amazing cigar. So you can't go on looks alone, but that's my job, is to try and get and capture the quality of the cigar.
I think you do well. I'm not blowing smoke.
Excluded
in the bud.
To be quite honest, you can blow whatever smoke you like in your vent side. But yeah, essentially that's the name of the game, is to show people how good cigars are, and even just on a visual sense, the tactileness, the prettiness, the everything about it. They've got an aroma to them before you even before you even get them in your hand.
Yeah, exactly. How long have you actually been doing photography for?
Well, it's funny because my background is I studied photography at A level.
Okay.
Failed.
Irony.
Yeah. Well, they called it a near miss. I'm like, no, it's failed. Just tell me I failed. I'll accept it. But then I went to try and be a photographer, but the market, the people being photographers in 1999, actually before then, was ridiculous. So to get into it, you needed to be a photographer's assistant, and then trying to find that job was near miss out at the time. So eventually I passed on the photography and moved into the computer side of it. I did a quick training course, learned about Adobe, that existed, learned Adobe Photoshop and fell in love with it, because obviously it's all image based. It's basically the dark room of photography, as it were, which was one of my favourite parts. So I just got into that. A year after doing the course, I ended up in my first job, and I was there for 8 years. Okay. My first job was retouching Marks and Spencer's lingerie models.
Oh no! But it's such a harsh first job.
It wasn't bad, actually. Yeah. The amount of stuff, and unfortunately, sorry if any ladies are watching, yes, I was the one that made them a bit slimmer and the bust a bit bigger. That was just my job.
That's what I apologise.
Yeah, I apologise. Even Marks and Spencer's. But then, so I just carried on that part of the photography side. But then I went into the print trade, used Photoshop skills for making sure everything prints correctly when it goes from computer to actual printed media. And obviously we all were affected by COVID at the time. And when it kicked in, I was put onto furlough. And I think it was just time for a change.
Yeah.
I did some photography for a friend of ours, a guy called Nick Jocelyn, does White House Gin. If you like gin, get it. And it was actually in the headquarters here at Smoking before anything was on shelf. So we were open for click and collect still from the COVID times.
Yeah.
But we weren't open at that moment for customers to come in. So there were no bottles on the shelf. If you've ever been down here, you'll notice we've got like big bar area.
But a nice BB.
There. All that was there was the Cuban humidor.
Yeah.
And so I was at the time I was shooting Nick's gin and his rum. He does a pineapple rum as well, really nice. And I was shooting some of his stuff with some of the cigars, mixing it up, so it looked quite cool.
Yeah.
And I got chatting with Claire. And Claire just basically said, well, not on the day, but we got on great. Nick got a message from Claire, passed it on to me, and she says, I need someone to come in full time. Well, at the time it was freelance, so
Yeah.
I think it worked out. It was meant to be 2 or 3 days a week, ended up some weeks 6 days a week, to pick up the kind of, because Claire was doing everything herself. She was programming the site, she was taking the pictures, doing the listings, doing absolutely loads. So as time's gone on, she's had to spread out a bit and give it to people. So yeah, I came in, started doing photography, and nicely as it were, was offered a full-time contract about 8 months later. And that was 3 years ago, just November gone.
Bloody hell.
So yeah, I think aside from Jody, I think I'm second longest running on the within the apart from the greens themselves.
Thing is, when you go around and ask people, it doesn't seem like people have been here that long, but just because of the sheer mass that smoking's grown in such a short period of time, it's quite scary when you talk about. Like, they've achieved more in like 3-4 years than some people have in 10.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, from the time I've been here, so let's call it 3 solid years. Within that time, around about 18 months of that, 12 to 18 months of that was a build on the second part of the premises, which is now the smoking part of the premises.
Yep.
So we've got Barman Bennett next door, and we've got smoking here. And I mean, I even got roped in to do the floor plans and the measurements and stuff like that I worked with the building contractors and everything to get, well, I cheekily managed to get my own studio put together to my own colour, specs and everything. Cheers, Claire. But yeah, so we spent a long time of that building everything. So if you are lucky enough to come down and visit us, you'll see what I think is probably the largest single humidor in Great Britain.
I've been to quite a few, and I agree. I would say.
If you talk about a single room, walk in, there, done.
Yeah.
The shelves and shelves. It is a beautiful place to be. But I helped with the layout of that, with design, how the shelves would work, angled lighting, the 3 50-inch TVs. So it's gone from just hanging out, taking pictures, doing stuff like that, to, well, what you see now when you visit. It's vast.
And it's depending what's fair. That humidor was really what sold me on the job. Because I'd had shots with smoking before.
Yeah.
So I was fully aware of smoking, and whoever was running the social at the time, it was probably Claire, messaged me about a year before I even came in. It's like, oh, you need to come visit the humidor. And when I walked in, I just went, wow, these guys are serious.
That was the thing that we were, I wouldn't say struggling with, but finding time for the social media side, because we're e-commerce. Everything's internal first, so you have to make your sales first, your website, things like that. So the getting out into the socials world wasn't priority number one. I mean,
it never really is. And I remember when I was first talking to Claire, she said, I just did the socials because we didn't realise the importance of it. And then we're looking at the figures we did in 2024, and she's just gone, oh my God, we couldn't have done that.
I think it's one of those things with social media, from an e-commerce standpoint, our standpoint, it's not necessarily that it's not required. It kind of isn't. It's a great luxury. And I think it's a big luxury to have, because if you have it, you can spread the word more, spread my images out there more, so you guys can look at them, all the prettiness.
You've all seen his images at some point.
You probably have.
In videos, you use the images all the time.
Yeah, some of the product shots have popped up in the videos or in the shorts and stuff. But since you've come in, it has shown us the importance of having a social footprint, having our name out there, so people can go, right, I'll go check you out then. Because we as much as e-commerce is our course, it is. We're selling things. We're there to sell products. What we want as well, though, is people who are interested to talk about stuff. Come and talk to us. Yeah, absolutely. If you've got, like, the whole point of smoking cigars is you sit with each other, you chat, you talk about whatever crap's going through your head, or you just sit in silence, enjoying a cigar. Because I'm actually, I don't have a lot of people that I'm grouped with cigar smokers, but when I have one, it's my time.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily that I want to go and sit around a group of people, because I'm not a big fan of smoking inside. It gets stuffy and stifling and stuff, but I prefer Like I know you will, yeah. Yeah, but if you haven't got good extraction, it's just, gets on your lungs.
Again, to be like
so for me, a beer garden with a nice cover and just sit there, whether you are having a beer or even a coffee, because I prefer it with coffee actually.
I'm exactly the same.
Especially if I'm not drinking. If I'm not drinking at all, alcohol-wise, a coffee and smoke.
Correct.
But then I need it, as you can see from my mug, I don't have small. So this is probably why it's a good thing I don't drink as much when I smoke. But yeah, it's one of those. Everyone has their own reasons and whatnot for smoking cigars.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm an ex-smoker. Luckily, I'm coming up not far from my second year being cigarettes and vapes free completely. But cigars, I've always cheated myself. And as you know, I'm not the biggest cigar smoker. I don't smoke. Like you'll have a minimum, I bet, one a day.
Oh yeah, easy.
And obviously it's part of your job as well. But I obviously weather's not too good now. I don't know what it's like where you are, but up here it's still crap. And I don't want to be cold. I don't have anywhere in my house to smoke indoors. I don't have a man shed like Paul does.
Yeah.
So mine's few and far between. Usually in summer it'll be one a week. But I like that because I don't have a crutch on it. I don't need it. It's when I want to have a cigar.
Does it feel more of a luxury because of that exact fix? I would probably say the majority of cigar smokers are the same. Because especially with how prices are hiking up at the moment.
Yeah. I mean,
a lot of people only once every 2-3 weeks.
I wouldn't use the term luxury, but it's a special occasion. It's a treat to yourself. Because you know what it's like. You can buy a £6 stick and have the time of your life. Or you can buy a £50 stick and have the time of your life. It doesn't matter. So the luxury element for me is not there, but the treat is there. Is that moment of everything else goes out the window. You sit, you smoke, you relax. Whether that's with people or on your own or indoors, outdoors, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's your moment to just go, I'm just done. That's it. Just smoke away. If you don't like it, you don't have to finish it. This is what a lot of people
one thing I push a lot of people for is when's a cigar done? When you're done.
But I've had it before. I've had a brilliant cigar, absolutely loving it. Then it gets middle of the second third. I'm like, it's going a bit wrong for me, for my palate. It might have gone too spicy, it might have burnt itself through a bit, it might be a bit, and I just go, done. Because I don't enjoy it. It's not like a cigarette, you're not doing it for the nicotine. So you put it down and you let it die.
That's exactly what I say a lot in our videos. Of when people say, "Oh, when's a cigar done?" It's done when it's done. It's there to help relaxation. If you're no longer relaxed, that cigar isn't serving its purpose.
It's a pleasure item.
Yeah.
It's not there for your addiction. It might be, but it's not there for that purpose. It's there because you have purposely got this. You've picked it up and you're going, right, I'm going to take my time to cut it correctly. I'm going to take my time to toast the foot correctly and get it lit. And then sit, whatever environment you're in, sit and enjoy it. And if you're not enjoying something, stop doing it. That goes for everything.
Yeah. So do you have, a lot of people and a lot of cigar smokers have a ritual when it comes to smoking cigar, like they'll only use a certain way of lighting, a certain way of cutting. Are you that, or are you just get it cut, get it lit, and enjoy the stick?
I wouldn't say I'm an amateur, but I'm a bit plain on everything so far. Is that I've got a 3-jet lighter that works no matter the weather, works wherever I am, and it's good. It's an easy controllable flame because it's points, so I know where to put it. Cutter, so far I haven't really experimented. Straight cut, guillotine, done, because it gives you the full width of the cigar to draw through. And so far that's what I do.
You got, if it ain't broken, don't fix it.
If it works,
the straight cut is like the oldest form of cutting anyway.
It's also the easiest and simplest to understand. Because I think people, I've seen people sometimes, if they think with a V cut it's going to unravel because they've cut too deeply, because a V is actually quite deep.
Yeah.
But if you're not cutting past the bottom cap, you're fine. The second you take the whole of the cap away, that's when you get the wrapper coming on.
The one thing I found fascinating is that when I was out in Nicaragua is they won't use a cutter, they peel it.
Yeah.
They peel the top cap off.
Well, Paul was telling us that the the old aficionados back in the day used to keep the thumb nail longer, and they'd literally just pop it
They
off
cut
with the
it.
thumb.
Or
with the
bite
thumb.
it. I've seen so many
Yeah.
people just go,
But this is the massive misconception in the movies where they bite it and half the cigar comes off.
no, you still only
You're meant to nibble the end,
nibble the end. Yeah.
touch it off. But that's the thing. The movies, you go, I've got a cigar. It's like, no, you haven't now. You've just got a mess of tobacco in your face.
Yeah. What about
Yeah.
the punch cut?
Yeah, not on.
Because people seem to have a love-hate. You either love it. I like it. Some people hate it.
I started with that for a while because it was the easiest. Pop done.
You can't go wrong with it. Yeah, you can't.
There's no
you
less
can't
mess
mess
as
up.
well. All it takes is that little hole in the cap.
Mhm.
But then Christine Green, possibly wife, basically just said, you're not getting your draw. If the gauge is too thick and you do one punch, it's all narrowing down, and eventually it's just going to get so tight that you're not getting a full amount of draw. Obviously,
It normally gets
like,
a lot of bitter.
well, people might disagree with me there, but for me, it's all that you have smoked is filtered into that small part, and like you say, it's going to get bitter in the cap.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've mentioned before you do 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever.
Yeah, the big nose too. Yeah.
But I think for smaller gauges, yeah. But as you'll see, stuff that I'm going to pull out my little box in a minute. Excuse me.
Mhm.
They're not little gauges. They require a good cut. Now, I have 2 or 3 punch. So I've got a V cutter. I've got 2 straight cutters. Literally, my straight cutter is a silver steel snuck done. There's nothing special about it. Probably cost about £4. That's why.
I don't necessarily think cutters have to be expensive.
That's why I trust the Smoke King one. It's the blade's metal. It don't matter if it's plastic around it, and you go like that. If it takes the end off cleanly, it's done. If it's sharp, that's what you need. Sharpness.
Yeah.
Blunt, it'll just crush your cigar. So
Exactly. Like even my V cut was £14, 15 quid. I think I've got off Amazon years ago.
Yeah.
It's still my go-to cutter. It's perfect. Works.
Yeah,
every
but you
time.
love your Les spinners, don't you?
I do like my leg thinners though. Yeah.
Only because he gets them for no. Stop sending him stuff. Send it to me. Care of Smoke King. Jono, care of Smoke King. Yeah.
So you have said you've picked out some cigars. I know I've seen one or two,
Well, yeah, I've picked
which
some
I'm not surprised by.
Yeah, I've picked some that that I like, and like I said, I don't smoke a lot, so the ones I do like are. Well, I haven't got that much basis of comparison, but the ones I've chosen are the ones I've been lucky enough because we work here. We're very lucky people. He's stolen all my... No. Basically, yeah, I've picked... there would be 3, but we haven't got the 3rd one in stock of what I like. So I'll mention it, but in passing.
Well, which is going to be the first one you're going to pull out? Obviously, I haven't seen all of these, so some of them are going to be a bit of a surprise to me, and I'm not going to peek.
No, well, the ones that I'm going to talk about that I have tried are not going to come as a surprise. Now, do I go straight to the... No, I'll go to the most recent one. Recently, it's the Foundation Tabernacle. It's a bomb-proof cigar, but as me and James have discussed, I've only had this past... I think it was Boxing Day. And it looked dangerous.
Oh, it looks evil.
I don't know if you can see from the colour, but that is a dark cigar. That is it's a very dense cigar. But yeah, I was really surprised. I cut it, lit it, stood around my mate's. He's got a little garden, what do you call it, fire pit. Stood around there having a couple of beers, and I got that lit up and blown away straight away, instantly from the first puff on it. No real bitterness on the throat of the tongue from the first draw.
No.
Not that I could pick up on anyway. I'm not exactly the best palate, but
I think it's the great definition of the saying, never judge a cigar by its colour.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember I was terrified of it, and George Frakes in 1573 said, just for the love of God, just smoke it.
It looks dangerous.
It's really smooth.
It's not dangerous. I wouldn't put it for a beginner's smoke.
Oh, definitely not. No.
But then again, if you're into your big, like the Rocky Patel edge, this isn't going to go up to that edge. No. It's going to give you something in between. I always say something, because I think Brickhouse are a good benchmark of nice cigars.
Yeah.
They're not overly priced, they're not overly flavoured, they're not in your face. So if you were to say get a Brickhouse Classic, and put at the other end a Rocky Patel edge. This is in middle.
Yeah.
Somewhere like that. You know, it's a nice smoke.
It's a great balance that if you've dabbled in medium sticks for a while, you're used to it, smoke it, don't feel nothing, but you're not quite ready for the full body to
Yeah, you want
palate.
the next step up.
That's
That'd work.
perfect for it.
And also, your mates will be impressed because they'll look at that and think, "Wow, he's got a right big, scary cigar there." It's not.
No.
And on that fact, the next one after this is going to be the same sort of effect. But yeah, it's a good ring gauge. It's a good length. I can't remember what I got. Probably about an hour and a half because I was slow smoking, just chatting.
Yeah.
But it's one of those. And one of the first cigars in probably 2 years that went down at nub, pretty much. I had to take the wrapper off, nearly burnt my knuckles. Because it was that nice. Oof, yeah, all right. I don't have a pipe yet. But, yeah, brilliant. Get it, basically. It's don't be scared of the colour, and the design is all black and gold, so it's really cool looking. But yeah, just smoke it.
It's got a really interesting story behind it as well, which if you want, it's a very long story. If you want to
classy, isn't it?
I'll leave a link down in the description below for the interview that we did with George.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. Haile Selassie, isn't it?
Absolutely incredible. But
yeah.
we were discussing it. I think it was actually this morning, or was it yesterday, that we've never really had a bad foundation cigar.
Not so far.
They create some incredible ones. I'm dying to get that Connecticut shade lit.
Yeah,
which I will steal at some point this week.
Yeah, well that's it. You'll have to you'll have to take one of them out of stock because I'm sure everyone wants to.
I'll take one for the team.
Did you do a charter out video yet on the other charter?
Yeah. So I think that was one of the first ones we did. Highclere Castle, great. Wiseman, I actually smoked with George.
Yeah,
that was a good stick.
Which shows how much I pay attention to his channel. Anyway.
Heartbroken.
I watched them all before they even.
Heartbroken.
Don't even subscribe. No, I do.
Can you remember the days where I used to have to send them to you first? When we were
when we're first signing them off, just to make sure that
you experimenting and finding the tone of voice and the legalities.
Sure that you didn't mess up. Beat there as well. Penny in the jar. Pound these days. But yeah.
I only owe 40 quid as well.
I'll add it to your bill. But no, it was one of those things that it was everyone getting to know each other. Getting to know the vibe we wanted to put out there, how we wanted to portray ourselves. We didn't know the world.
What we wanted.
No, really? No, this is what I mean. We didn't know the world of social media that well. We only knew what we'd seen on YouTube, which some work, some don't.
Yeah.
And obviously we didn't want to start off too amateurish because then people lose interest quite quickly sometimes.
We looked professional from the get-go, yeah.
This was the point. This is where Claire stepped in and did a good job of, right, what do we need to make it look right? Me and you discussed other people that do a good job of, especially in the cigar and whiskey industry.
Yeah.
And I think we got it. The first few were with teething problems up and down for the lighting, a bit of sound, whatever.
Yeah, the lighting was awful in our first couple of ones. Looking back on it now, like the lighting we get now is.
The amount of filters and things we were putting over the top. We didn't need to. We just needed to dim it down a little bit, control the light. Because
I remember you turning around to me, it was like, "I want you to adjust your white balance." I was like, "What the hell is that?"
Yeah.
The problem is, I've been doing content creation for years, but when it comes to the camera.
No, this is it.
I haven't got it. No, I'm a point and shoot kind of.
I think that's the difference between me and you is that, or at least we complement each other in the fact that you know how to do your content. I know lighting, color balance, stuff like that from photography and whatever else. So when we come together, it's like, if you just tweak this, you'll get a better sort of thing. And then, as you can see from the videos as they went on from back then to now, things are a lot more balanced and consistent is for me. Because for me, consistency across your socials and your content. If 1 minute it's white balanced, next minute it's got a sepia tone hit to it, or there's a light coming in from behind your head that wasn't there last week. It kind of, and we're not all professionals. We are because we get paid for it, but we're not because we haven't made movies. We don't make movies. We make content.
Yeah.
When you make content, it's meant to be a bit amateurish, a bit funny, a bit silly, a bit beep here, beep there, which is me and him, but he can cut his out. So yeah, it's I think we've come a long way in 1 year.
In a very short amount. We've done more than what we thought. We've doubled.
I think you've also stepped forward because what you've done is you've gone from just being safe in your little studio for us. And I know you were already doing stuff outside, but then you felt, right, well, why should I sit in here? It's sunny outside. There's a beach there, so I'll go and sit on the beach and smoke a cigar.
Yeah.
Or I'll go on a park bench and have a chat on my lunch and stuff like that.
It's experimenting.
It's what it's done for you is it's broken that barrier of I don't have to sit here.
No.
You know, if I'm doing something and I'm still working, obviously.
Always.
Oh yeah, all right. He calls it work. But then, yeah, it gives you that opportunity to, you know, mix it up a bit, sit outside, sit on your doorstep, whatever. So you've got now you've moved into a new space as well, which will, you know, it'll give you that scope of different bits here, different bits there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this year and what's going to come forward because there's going to be
a lot of fun stuff this year.
More long content as well, as we discussed, didn't there?
Yeah.
That'll be great. Right.
Next cigar.
Number 2, this is the one. What I will do in between, I will mention the Silencio Red Dot Robusto. That was another
great
one.
stick.
Unfortunately, we're out of stock. I don't think they were that. They didn't go off that well, unfortunately. But
first cigar you ever recommended?
Yeah. Well, recommended to someone who smokes every day. Yeah. But no, it was just with that. It was similar to. I won't say similar to Tabernacle for any sort of flavour, but for how easy it was to smoke. It was one of those that, I mean, I don't have a sophisticated palate, but I know the difference between something that I do like and I don't like. Yeah. So when it came to the Silencio Red Dot, I was lucky enough, Paul got some samples from a rep. I was lucky enough he got the Toro, I got the Robusto. But yeah, and same situation at my mate's house, and it was just so nice. But it was easy. It was like another one down to the knuckles.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I mean, go and have a look at it. Silencio Red Dot. It's a great little stick. But the big monster of all monsters, which I was super fortunate to smoke, and this man still hasn't smoked one.
Claire.
Yeah. That's between you and the boss lady. I'm not getting involved. Is the La Flor Dominicana Andalusian Bull. This is a monster. It's, like I said before, it's got the kind of, it carries the gravitas of a cigar that's going to kick your ass. But I'll tell you something now. That's just such a steady smoke. And obviously, because you're tapering down, it filters really nicely. It's quite a smooth smoke. You don't get burned. And again, I think I actually nearly burnt my lips on this one because I would not put it down. A bit of a camping. I think alcohol's been involved with my top 3. A bit of a camping session with my missus and some friends and stuff. And that.
Does the flavours like really heighten up towards the end? So obviously you're starting off from something that's around about 56 to 60 at the bottom,
40 something,
and that's about 46, 48.
It does.
Flavours naturally ramp up anyway because you're bottlenecking that smoke.
It's flavoursome, but the way I'd put it is that it's not. Maybe the same flavour, but a little bit more intense.
Yeah.
But it doesn't get any. The flavour doesn't change. That's the thing. It doesn't, like a lot of cigars on the last third get a bit spicy, a bit more choked in.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
a bit more intense. That is literally good from there to there. And even if you left it there because it was getting a bit strong, you've still had what?
It's smoke.
Well, I mean, look at that for size. That to me is just ridiculous. I haven't unfortunately had a chance to have a second one because we all know how pricey these ones are. But yeah, if you get the chance, or if you're lucky like me at the time when I first started here, I think it was there was a couple that was slightly damaged, so I managed to get one half price. Back before the budget.
Yeah.
Or the last 3 budgets. So yeah. If it's your birthday, Christmas, whatever, and you have a spare few quid to buy one and treat yourself, do it and go and sit quietly and just comment later and thank me. So yeah, those are the I'd say 3. Obviously the Silencio Red Dot I ain't got, but yeah, they're the 3 that I have as standout cigars. They've literally, I haven't put them down. I haven't thought. And another one that I liked, but it's a forgettable but nice smoke is like I said, the Brick House Classic.
Yeah,
it's a nice smoke. I've still got, I think I've still got the Mighty at home, but I just had a Toro, and it was just a good smoke. It didn't blow my skirt up. I will not write a review about it. I will not go and shout it from a mountaintop, but I would have one again.
Yeah.
That's what
I think-
cigars are about.
Bearing in mind how old they are, and they still had the Churchill in the top 25 cigars of last year,
There you
and
go.
how long ago they were actually released to the market. There's a reason they're
what I-
still ranking that.
Like about JC Newman is they know their place. And I don't mean that I don't want to belittle them, but they know that the brick house is their bread and butter all day long. And then they've got a fair few others. Is it Perla Del Mar that they make as well?
I think so.
Yeah. So they've got the showy ones, but they know that the brick house all day long will sell. And it's
like the foundation they then build off, isn't it? That's almost like them insurance.
They've covered their bases, haven't they? Because you get the Connecticut, you get the Classic, and you get the Maduro.
I'm a big fan of that double Connecticut.
Well, I think that's the most I've heard you emote in a video. It's about the Mighty Mighty.
I think it was one of the very first cigars I reviewed.
It was, and creamy comes to mind.
Very creamy, very light. Probably one of the lightest cigars on the UK market.
Yeah.
Perfect for beginner. Not the Mighty size, but the smaller Vito.
Let's put the 2.5 to 3 hour Mighty Mighty.
Don't know if you smokes to sit down for 3 hours. It got to the point where I remember filming the review and I just went, why have I picked up this size for? So I got halfway through and I went,
that makes
I ran out of things to say.
Bolt look like a beginner's cigar. That's how big that thing is. I mean, I think I've still got one somewhere to smoke. I did have the Mighty Mighty Connecticut. It wasn't my palate. I see where you were coming from with it, but it just, something about it didn't sit with me.
You've definitely got a stronger palate compared to me, though.
I think possibly I have, which is why the up and comers that I've got in my little box are going to be a bit of a one day sort of thing. So right,
let's have a look at your one day cigar.
Right, so not all in one day. Jesus Christ. So these are the ones that James asked me to put together. What I want to try. Now we'll start off with one I actually do own, but haven't got round to it yet because I'm a bit precious. That's the Davidoff. Can I read? Davidoff limited edition, 2022. I think it's a double robusto. Is that?
Yeah.
And that just looks immense. I've got one in my humidor. I've had it since 2022. Date's there. And I haven't touched it. I'm kind of like, I don't want to disappoint myself if it's not as good as I think it's going to be. And I think you said that with cigars, you get one and you hold it on a pedestal and you go, ooh, one day. And then 6 years later, ooh,
I've got
not yet.
So many in my personal collection I've got that with.
But that's the thing. This is the one that sat there looking at me every now and again and says, right, well, what day is good enough to do it?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you, it's probably going to be first day of spring this year. As soon as I can go outside, I'm going to celebrate by having one of them.
I've got some cigars that I've got on my deathbed. You know, when they turn around and go, all we can do is make him comfortable. Cool. Get me out that front and get me my cigars. That will make me
roll me out.
And I'll smoke all the ones because I'm terrified the missus are going to sell them for the price I told her I paid for them. So I'm just going to smoke them.
Just have it written in your will. They go to Jono.
They go to Just leave it to John.
Outlive everyone. Right. So my next one's quite a standard one, and I've told you before, and I haven't had a chance. It's simply just not getting round to it. That's the Hoyo de Nicaragua Red.
Oh, what a cigar!
Yeah, I mean that's the Robusta. I would, as you know, I'd probably go for a Toro, but the nose on that.
If you like the Silencio Red, you'll love that.
This is, and you said the Flor Cana, is it? The Hoyo de Nicaragua Flor de Nicaragua, that's it.
Yeah.
That's basically a similar sort of style.
Very yeah, pretty much, yeah.
That's it. That and the black, which unfortunately we don't stock anymore.
That's another good cigar.
That's really upsetting. But maybe one day it'll come my way. But like I said, and it's not like I've picked, this is out of my price range stick. That's
very affordable stick.
16, 18 quid, I can't remember.
About that, at the point of posting this, probably about
I'm not sure.
That 16 to 18 mark.
I'm not sure,
quite affordable.
But yeah.
Worth every penny though.
Yeah, and I've just never got around to it. It's not that I want to get it, but being in the biz, sometimes we don't have to buy them. I think that might be the main.
I haven't bought a cigar in like a year.
This next one's a Cuban, and I don't get onto Cubans that often because I have been lucky enough to, my first ever cigar was a Cuban, lucky enough, when I was 21. Not that
back when they were affordable.
Yeah, well, when your mate could give you one for your 21st birthday, it was affordable. But Yeah, I mean, I think my go-to in the past was Romeo and Juliet's. Wide Churchill,
Yeah.
Churchill. Perfect size smoke. Because it's the right amount of time. It's the Romeo and Juliet has got the right sort of just Cuban flavour. It's not over the top.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is that attracts me to this particular one, but it's the Monte Cristo Edmundo.
I'm not smoked that one. Obviously, I'm aware of it, but
Which,
I smoked that one. Yeah.
to me, more than anything, is just every time I look at it, it's like that is the size of a cigar. And I know that's silly to say it because there's so many different. But when you look at a cigar, a picture of a cigar, a drawing of a cigar, a cartoon where they pull out a cigar or whatever, or even like if you're looking at images or vector or patterns of cigars, that's a cigar.
Yeah.
Simple, nice. What's it? But also, it's just every time I photograph stuff, obviously I'm lucky enough to get a bit more of a close-up view than most customers do. That always stands out. And I don't know what it is. It's not like it's shouting at you that this is a special cigar.
It's very sleek and simple.
It's just a cigar. But for me...
iconic.
Yeah. And like I say, I'm usually drawn to Romeo and Juliet's because I know the flavour profiles. I've never had a Monte Cristo. And I think that as a standard shape, flavour profiles, no, never had a Monte.
You've not even had a Monte before?
No, I've had, like I just said before, the early days of my first ever cigars, believe it or not, were both Cohibas. But I don't recollect enough because I was a long time ago. But I do have a picture of me smoking a Cohiba in a nightclub 19 years ago with my shades on.
Gangster.
Not at all. You're gonna need a beep right here, dickhead. I might not leave it in if you want. I don't mind. But yeah, no, there's a few Cubans. Like I was gonna pick the Cohiba Maduro, but
that's a beautiful.
It's a Maduro, and it's like I know Maduros from the New World, and it might be different because it's Cuban Maduro. But
yeah,
I thought I'd go for a standard Cuban. I could have picked whatever else out. We've got some very nice ones. Come and have a look.
Yes.
Now this is a 2-for-1, as it were.
Okay.
Alec Bradley, Black Market. Now, there's a reason I've picked two out because I can't choose between the two at the minute. Yeah, I don't know why the standard Black Market is bigger than the Esteli, but Robusto size, both of them. But the reason I picked them both is because I can't make this decision. And the reasoning behind these is, yes, I've spoken to people, they say they're ace, but they're strong. They're a big flavour profile. They're not for a beginner, let's say that.
No, definitely.
I wouldn't put myself as a beginner, but I haven't gone up to the echelons of, EP Carrillo sort of power.
They're a powerhouse, yeah.
Well, this is why I mentioned them because you're the one that's said they are powerful. I mean, Paul smoked one of them in his sleep. But do you know what it is? The build quality on them two sticks is the best I've seen.
Oh, God, yeah.
They are smooth. There's no veins. There's no lipping.
I tell you what, they went
down. You can see through the cellophane that they are absolutely perfect.
They're so robust, and the Esteli that we had at I believe it was the August event that we had last year. A lot of people were saying, "Oh, I've always been scared to light this up and enjoy it," and everyone loved it. There wasn't a bad review.
I've been told that's slightly.
I'd rather have palatable. The Esteli.
That's got a bit more strength to it, but those two for sheer build quality.
I love the presentations on them as well.
They have the full sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I love that.
I bet sometimes it's a bitch to beep there, to peel off because you don't want to catch the guy. Don't want to.
If you want to keep it, yeah. I've smoked so many of the Black Markets over the years, and I like to keep all my bands. I like to frame them, do art or something with them. You cannot take that off in one solid cut.
Yeah, but for me, that wouldn't be what irritates me. Is if that slightly caught your wrapper because it's such a big surface area.
Yeah.
And when you're trying to get into it, if there's a little bit of glue or a little bit of fingernail or whatever catches it, it's had a big hole in it. Which
sometimes you can be lucky and they slide straight up. Sometimes.
Yeah, I've
not had it often, but sometimes they can just slide straight up.
I've had my issues with sliding things off cigars where it's caught slightly in tears, and I'm very particular. I probably look at a cigar more than most people and go, "Don't touch that bit, don't touch this bit." Because the precious objects to me until you light it. And then what do? Cut it up and set it on fire. So
It is a really bizarre concept when you think
We
about
hold it like this, don't we? We hold it like this, and then we go snip, snip, burn.
bang,
Done.
just set it on fire.
Yeah, off you go.
I say it all the time to start my videos. I'm like, oh, look at the presentation on this. It's absolutely beautiful.
No,
and I'm literally about to set fire to it.
Yeah, but this is it. It's like I'm going to say two random things here. Like Burning Man or the Wicker Man. It's basically you are making this. Someone's made this thing, and its whole purpose is to burn.
Yep.
And if you don't, you're not doing it justice. So, like to me and you that have got cigars that we're coveting, pedestaling.
Oh God, yeah.
It's not. You're not getting out of it what you want. I mean, you said before if you get two, you humidor one and smoke the other.
Yeah.
If it's a special one.
One to test, one to rest.
Yeah. Well, I've got a couple at home that I don't even think are on the market anymore. I wasn't bring
that
them
might be even more reluctant.
I've got a Viva La Vida with a full sleeve wrap. I can't remember. It's got like a jester face on it. It's not the jester.
Yeah.
But and that's I don't know. It's a long perfecto, so it's tapered at both ends.
Yeah, yeah.
I've got that, and that's been in there since I started here. That was like probably the first week I started here. I got that as a gift. So that's been 3 years in a humidor. And I haven't touched it. I've also got a full sleeve, not full sleeve, sorry, same sort of shape and size, Oliva V Milano,
Yeah.
whichever way it is. But that's another one I haven't touched it.
Great cigars.
So basically, there's them two, and
Great.
then the Davidoff 2022, and I shouldn't be putting them on a pedestal. I should be smoking them. But
we all do that. I put stupid reasons to them as well. Like, oh, I won't smoke this because this particular person gave me that cigar.
well, there's that.
It might not be a special cigar. It's just because that.
Yeah, because it was a gift from a certain person. Or
When I first met like Davidoff, they were like, oh, like Eddie. He's like, oh, I'll take this. Never smoke that cigar.
No.
Just because Eddie's hacking gave me that cigar.
Yeah. Oh no,
It's nothing special. It's a normal Davidoff. But
no, but I understand that because that's a sentiment. That's an actual sentimental reason. When you've just got a cigar, but you cover it because it's a rare cigar or a rare smoke. It's like when we've had the Bahikis in, the Cohiba Bahiki 52 and the 54s.
Yeah.
We were, you want to hold it, and it's made for a reason. I know not a lot of us have anywhere between £300 and £600 per stick to spend.
One of you is watching this, and you know who you are, so I speak to you on the regular.
Light
them up.
If you do have that money, buy it and smoke it.
You particular person have bought a box of 10 and are reluctant to light it up, and you know who you are.
Well, we've had a few guys come in and pick stuff up like that, and obviously they've got the money for that leisure. Brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
But don't hold on to. I mean, if it's something that's like one cigar and that's it, there's no other cigar ever made again of that one cigar. Yeah, maybe museum it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a box of 10, smoke 9 of them, put the other one away, whatever.
Yeah.
But smoke them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have to tell myself that. That's me. That's more me. It's an internal mantra. Smoke it.
There's sometimes I've been given like ones to review for the channel, and I'm like, oh, I just don't want to light that up. And then Paul or Claire like, where's the video? And I'm like, oh.
Then you realise
okay.
It's a flipping job. Get on with it.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm being paid for it. I haven't paid for the cigar.
No, isn't it? You're not
I'm actually getting paid to do it. So I just like, well,
the thing is, you might get another anyway. So
yeah. There's been some, and I will not mention names, that have been like limited edition, really expensive. I've lit up and gone, it's okay.
Well, this is what we've been saying.
That's the beauty of cigars.
This is what we've been saying. Basically, you could go out and you might want to buy a Quorum or a Giuliani or, something of a sub 10 quid. And use. Well, this is what. For instance, if I had to buy my own cigars, all I'd have is Quorums.
Yeah.
That's the thing. If I literally was as much of a smoker as yourself, and I didn't have access to premium brands through my job or through people I know or whatever, I would be budget sticking. My sticks would all be between the 10 and 15 range max.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, there's plenty out there that sort of range that are beautiful sticks, but
especially here at Smoking.
Loads at Smoking. It's it's one of those, isn't it? It's kind of, if you like a cigar, you said this about I actually remember, it was the Placentia. Were it the 151, the little chocolatey stick that you said is one of your favourite evers? 149.
The 149 Cosecha, the Placencia year, the Tiger was
I mean, before the Tiger came out, the little one that you mentioned to me, I think it's
1898, quite like that.
Mm.
That's a pretty good.
But it was just you said it's not the most expensive, it's not the biggest premium, but it's what I like. I actually remember on one of your videos that's what you said. It's what I like. If I like it, I'll smoke it.
I quite like the Don Thomases as well.
Everyone loves
The
Don.
purple.
Everyone loved the Don Thomas.
The purple band was. And I remember. I think I did that as a.
I don't know if we've got them in.
I think we have.
Have we?
I think we got the yellow band as well. I'm not quite sure what the yellow band is.
Yeah.
But look, one of my favourite ones I've ever reviewed was that Flor de Nicaragua, and it's what 11 quid-ish for
I think
Toro.
11 to 12 quid
For a Toro.
Toro.
Incredible. And the hands down, one of my favourites was the Gurkha Seduction.
Yeah, we've got
11 quid.
God, I might have to get hold.
Because as soon as they come in, they fly off, and it's probably the cheapest Gurkha.
Mm.
I'm a big believer. I don't judge sticks by price, and I hate people that do it. Because some budget sticks are beautiful.
Well, there's some ones in there. It's like we had a brand recently. I will not mention it. I'm not getting into that broil. All show no go, as I would call it, is basically
Yeah,
you know.
I know.
Gurkha make beautiful looking cigars, beautiful bands. And I've met people that are like, I won't touch it. But why? They make such a range that if you say I won't touch a Gurkha cigar, then you've got probably, would you say 30 that we stock?
Oh,
individual flavoured different sticks that they've now banned because it's a Gurkha. Because they're a bit showy, yeah, they are. I love the artistry, but they're actually on the cheap side. They're reasonably priced. Whereas then you'll have people that all they'll say is, all I smoke is Rocky Patel. It's like, yeah, but not all Rocky Patels are the best in the world.
No.
You know,
No.
I have had one Rocky Patel in my life. It was the aged something or other. See, it didn't even stick in my mind. And and this is what it is. It's like everybody's palate's different. Do you like fish? Do you like chicken? Do you like beef? Do you like pork? Everybody has a different palate for food, so why not cigar? And that's my point. You cannot say I do not like them because you haven't. If you taste them all and you hate them, fine.
I don't think I never understand when people hate brands as a whole, and Gurkha, like you just said, is a great example. I think it's almost like a cool cult following to hate Gurkha. It's a very American thing I've noticed, which I think has just travelled over because of social media.
I'll tell you,
and I never understand it.
The lad I was actually talking to said it was smoking an Arturo Fuentes thing about this long. And yeah, he just said I don't like them. And I'm like, I wasn't smoking them at the time. I think at the time I was lucky enough to have one of Trident's unreleased cigars. That big hefty thing.
Yeah.
And that was lovely.
Good stick.
I mean, it was a good stick. It was good that they. Well,
I think that's the petite panatella, but in a larger.
It was the same blend, but in a Toro.
Yeah.
And it were a beast. But yeah, and it's like everyone has their specifics. If you smoke something and don't like it, then don't like that cigar. But don't oust the brand, I'd say.
Yeah.
Because your brand might come up with something like the Nicaraguan series for Gurkha. Love it.
Yep.
I've had another Gurkha Toro. I'm not impressed.
Yeah,
so I can't say I don't like.
30th was just okay. It was all right.
I just said that out loud. Sorry. It wasn't. Yeah, I always use the people laugh at me because I use the term "don't blow my skirt up." Basically, it's the old Marilyn Monroe thing. You know, it didn't get me excited.
Yeah.
The ones I've shown you that I have smoked, you know, you sit there and you're just in awe and you just want to keep smoking it. It's like you said, you wanted to light another one up straight after.
Yes.
If you've got one, you want a second. If you've got two, you want a third.
Pure evil, the Gurkha. Probably the more boring looking Gurkha.
That is literally.
Smoke them back to back.
It's like basically the Gurkhas, they're all ornate, and then they went, hey, do that one. And some little kid went, I like this.
Yeah.
There you go. A skull, that's it. And it's like.
Beautiful.
No, that's the pure evil because there's one just called evil, isn't there? That's brown.
Yeah.
That's even as dull. But it's like go back to what I said. Those that I will not name, they were. How can I be polite?
They invested too much money making them look good and not making them taste good.
Basically, someone went in, saw some glitter, threw it on some brown sticks, and I don't mean brown stick cigars. I mean actual sticks out of the woods.
They've
There you go.
dazzled.
They've
They've dazzled.
they've dazzled some twigs. Basically, they wrapped some twiglets up.
Don't worry, guys. We don't stock them anymore.
and don't worry, them. We're not going to mention names.
Yeah.
But you know who you are. Essentially, yeah. I mean, I have 2 of them in my humidor because I think they were going in bin. But
Yeah.
and oh no, I think they were a return. That's it. And I will smoke them. I think what I'll do though is I'll make sure it's one of those days where I might be barbecuing or having a drink and not concentrating on the cigar. I'll just take it.
Just in your mouth, kind of.
And the likelihood is I'll just take 2 puffs and throw it in barbecue and have done with it.
See, I've
Give
got
it a
a
ritual.
couple that I keep, and I give it to people who I know hate cigars, but just want one because I've had one.
Or
And it's like, I would give you a really good one, and you're going to appreciate it. And they're like, no. And I'm like, have that then.
or
If you're going to appreciate it, I'll give you a great cigar.
you got a mate. Oh, do you have a spare cigar for a wedding? There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, because they look incredible. They did look good.
This is the thing. If you pull one of those out at a wedding, it looks like you're,
Millionaire.
ready for the beat.
Rolling.
You're Mr. Joe Bollocks, right? You know. I look at my cigar. Whoa. No is the answer to that. If you go in with a sedate Monte Cristo or Partagas, if someone knows cigars, the band is literally Partagas is just a little red band. That's it. Cigar. If someone knows cigars, they'll look at you with more love and appreciation than if you go in with a massive glowing
Big and
thing
flashy.
hanging off it.
Yeah.
Then
But they invest their money in the right places. They made sure the cigar tastes incredible. And they go, yeah, that one will do.
well, there's one
That
thing
band
I
would be
would
okay.
say about the Cuban cigar market. Don't get me wrong, I'm not bad mouthing all of Cuban cigars. Obviously, they are brilliant. But what I've noticed, I think even you touched on it with Paul yesterday, was the build quality has changed. Something along the lines of the standard ones. I'm not talking all of them, and I'm not talking like if you spend 300, if you go out and get a Bahiki, you will notice how beautifully made it is, how perfectly smooth it is, and the time that's been taken. Some that I've seen are not of the quality that you might expect from a top end stick. Cubans are not cheap. So for me, if I was gonna just look for a cigar to buy for myself to go wherever, I'd go in the New World Humidor first.
9 times out of 10.
Even for a special one. Even if someone says it's a special occasion, well, I've got my special occasion cigar in my humidor, my Davidoff one. But if someone says, oh, it's really special occasion, I'd still walk in there first because I want one that tastes right. It wants to be my palate.
Yeah.
And I won't get it, so I can say to people, I have a Cohiba. I'm very popular. No. Not bothered. Point this way, like I just said, I smoke alone, so it's not like I can show off to anyone. Look at my pretty cigar. Yeah, well.
Fantastic. We'll tell you what, we'll wrap it up there.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on the channel. It's not going to be last time I'm going to drag you into a lot and come summer front smoking some cigars as well.
That's where I'll probably have a lovely time there. Sat on the Chesterfield smoking cigars.
Yeah. We'll get you out. I'll convince Claire to give us some cigars. That's fine. So guys, goes without saying, hit the subscribe button, enable notifications. We post twice a week, 2 full-length videos, and post every single day over on our shorts feed and all our social medias down in the description below. He's been Jono, I've been James, and we're smoking.
See you later, mate.
See you in the next video.